Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Women of Golf Show. I'm Ted Odorico, and joining me is LPGA professional Cindy Miller, and we are your hosts. We're broadcasting live every Tuesday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern here on the blogtalkradio.com network, bringing you some of the best golfers, teacher professionals, and entrepreneurs helping to elevate women's golf. We're so glad you decided to join us this morning, so grab your coffee and let's get started. All right. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live this morning here on the Women of Golf Show. Just a couple of quick notes. Cindy will not be on the show this morning. She had a previously scheduled engagement, so she's not going to be joining me here this morning to do the show. And one other announcement, next week, of course, we were off last week to observe the July 4th holiday. And next week, I'm going to be away on vacation, long overdue, so we're not going to decide not to do a show next week. So we'll be back the following week and continue on with our regularly weekly scheduled broadcast. So, again, no show next week, but we are obviously, or I'm doing one this week, and I've got a great guest coming on here. Let me just tell you a little bit about her, and then I will bring her on, and we'll get into this morning's discussion. She was actually on the show a little over, approximately about a month ago. I'm talking, of course, about golf professional Perrine Delacour. She's 25 and a native of France. She was a rookie both on the Symetric Tour and the LPGA Tour back in 2013. Played golf beginning at the age of 9 and is a member of the French national team. She had a total of 68 starts on the LPGA Tour entering into the 2019 season with a career best finish solo fourth at the 2015 Kings Mill Championship. As I mentioned, she was on a few weeks ago. She was the winner of the Four Winds Invitational, which was her first professional event on the Symetric Tour. And she's back again because the week before last, she captured her second win in a month on this season at the Prasco Charity Championship. So she's got her second win in a month's time. So we're very excited to have her back on the show. So let me welcome this morning's special guest, Perrine Delacour. Perrine, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. First and foremost, congratulations on another win and being the champion at the Prasco Charity Championship. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So let me ask you, obviously, an obvious question, as I was just mentioning in the opening credits here. A month ago, you were looking for your first win, and of course, you managed to do that at the Four Winds Invitational. Fast forward a month, and now you're celebrating your second win. How does it feel to have two wins in a month's time?
It's really feeling good. My game was really good the month of June, so I just take the advantage of it. But it's really. I'm really happy about it, and it's kind of funny because I started the month of June without a win, and I end up with two wins. So I'm really happy and proud about myself.
Yeah, and you know what? It's hard, as we've talked about before when you were on the last time. When you're trying to get that first win, that's always a difficult struggle sometimes because you're competing against some other top-notch players on tour, but then to turn around and reinforce it with another win, that's obviously just sort of, again, reinforces that confidence. And I want to talk to you about that a little bit. You beat the rest of the field in this tournament, the Prasco tournament, closest being 7 shots back. Did your win 4 weeks ago at the Four Winds Invitational give you that extra boost of confidence going into the Prasco event?
Yeah, I really did it. Well, the second round, I was just playing fantastic. So I was just couldn't believe it. I shot 8 under, but it was really good golf and everything. So I was confident for sure. But you never know, until even if I had coming into the last 3 holes, I had 6 shots to the lead, everybody was saying, "Oh, congrats, you won," and everything. I was like, "No, I'm not winning yet. I'm gonna be a winner when I'm signing my scorecard, and then it's done, it's over."
Right, and that's some good advice, because playing on tour, that it's never over until it's over, until that scorecard's signed and everybody's off the field, because anything can happen. I mean, somebody can get a string of birdies coming in the back nine, or or you could have a few missteps along the way. Overall, how was your game throughout the week? I mean, you mentioned the second round was really solid, but was it pretty solid for the other rounds as well?
Yeah, it was. I was the first round. I was playing good, but couldn't drop like a lot of putts. And the second round, I was like just playing fantastic. And the last round, I started pretty good. And it was kind of hard also for Patty, because every time she was making a birdie, I was making birdie too. So it's hard for her to get a comeback, because I was not giving her any like kind of advantage of her birdie, because I was making it too. So it was kind of hard for her, but it was really nice.
Yeah, in other words, you weren't opening the door for her to take some advantage of that, and that makes it difficult, for somebody that's trying to come back and get up some strokes.
Especially when you start birdie on the first few holes. She's like, oh shit, she already had 2 birdies, and I'm already like a couple shots behind her. But she was a really good player, and she was like really enjoyable to play with.
Yeah, and that is important too now, because sometimes, obviously all of the players are nice and good, but some players you just kind of you gel with a little bit better. You just have a better rhythm when you're out there playing, and other players you just you kind of, it's like two wheels that aren't sort of meshing together. Do you find that sometimes when you're out, and I don't want you to name names, of course, but do you find that sometimes you get matched with a player that maybe you just don't have the same kind of rhythm or the same personality, and it's just not a good flow? Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah, you do have that sometimes, and it's hard. And for me, if I have that kind of player, it's hard because that affects me a lot. So I'm just trying to not pay attention to it.
Right. Well, and obviously, optimally, Perrine, you're focusing on your own game. You're not really paying. I mean, you're observant of what's going on in their game to a certain point, because you want to you want to feed off that a little bit. But at the same time, you're so focused and entrenched in your own game, and making sure that when opportunities for birdies or a good putt comes along, you want to make sure you can drop that, as you said. So that's very, very important. But the cold hard reality, we're all human, and sometimes personality conflicts. Some players are very aggressive on the course, and some are a little bit more laid back. So when you're matched up with somebody that maybe just doesn't have that same sort of personality or a good fit, it can be a little bit distracting at times. Correct?
Yeah, it is.
All right, so let's get on to the money side of things a little bit. You move now to the number 1 spot in the Volvic race for the card with a total of just a little under $97,000. Congratulations on that as well. That's for the season so far, and we're only about just a little better than halfway through. Does this give you a little breathing room financially for the rest of the season for you?
Yeah, of course, yeah, for sure. It's gonna be good. I'm just gonna keep my best and then see what I can do. But my goal was to get like at least 3 wins to get back to LPGA. But now pretty much with 2 wins, it looks like really good to get back to LPGA. But I'm just gonna do the same as always and then just enjoy it.
Right. And now, I mean, obviously, you've got expenses while you're out there, so a lot of this money is going to help with that. But do you like to maybe treat yourself a little bit? Nothing maybe extravagant, but just treat yourself a little bit, because obviously you worked hard for those wins. Did you do something special for the wins that you got to treat yourself a little bit?
I haven't done anything yet. I was like, yeah, of course, after I did it just one because my parents were with me just before my win in the Prasco, but they were with me, so we went to Chicago, and I took a good hotel and everything. But I haven't done anything yet because I'm probably gonna have more time during off season, so I'm just gonna do something nice during off season.
Yeah. Now, obviously, it was nice to have your parents, you said, at the Prasco event. But do they travel a lot with you? Are they able to be there a lot of times, or was just sort of an opportunity that they were able to make it this time?
No, they were just planning on coming for 2 weeks. So they were here until the Saturday night of the Prasco. They couldn't change their flight, so they didn't see my win. But it was nice to having them with me.
Yeah, and it's difficult because obviously, you're from France and you're over here in the United States traveling around, which can be difficult as it is, and not really having a lot of family or close friends from back home here to sort of, even though they're rooting you on from back home, they're not here in close proximity. Do you communicate a lot back home, obviously with your parents, I'm sure, but with friends as well, just to kind of to have that camaraderie and support?
Well, actually, since I've been in the States for almost 6 years, I have pretty much more friends in the States than back home. So of course I'm connected to my parents, my family, and everything. But I have more friends here, so they can see me. So it was kind of good.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's right, too. I remember you said that you've been here for a few years. So when you're traveling, obviously on the road, I know from talking with some of the other young ladies on the tour that they kind of buddy up a little bit. They travel together, a lot of them, just to obviously save on cost, but just to have, again, that camaraderie, if you will. Do you do that yourself? Do you buddy up with other people from time to time or all the time, or you pretty much travel by yourself?
So I have my own car, so I'm pretty much like driving between tournaments by myself. And then if someone wants to share like the housing and everything, of course, but I don't have like the same person always because I did it the first time when I was on Symmetra and you kind of getting bored at the end. So I was like, I don't want to do that again. So I'm just like, if someone say, oh, I need a roommate, I'm just roommate with them. I'm pretty easy, so I don't care.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back to what I asked you earlier, even playing on the course, sometimes, for that to be successful, you've got to really sort of gel or mesh with that individual, and you don't want to, room with somebody and then just, not really get along, because that could be a very uncomfortable few days at a tournament and make it, that much more difficult and unenjoyable experience to boot. So as I was mentioning to you off air, we were talking a little bit about the next event. You're currently in French Lick, Indiana, getting ready to play the Donald Ross Classic at the French Lick Resort. Now, as I mentioned to you, I've never been there, but we've had a number of guests on the show, some of the executives that work there on the show to talk about it. And the Donald Ross golf course is quite a challenging course. Now, I know you haven't played it. You're getting ready to do a practice round this morning.
I haven't
but have you had a chance to look at it?
I just take a look at it. It seems really hard, like playing and walking, because it's really hilly. Everybody keeps saying it's going to be hard walking, so we'll see what it looks like. But I'm coming from the week off, so it's good because I'm like physically rested and mentally rested, so it's kind of nice to have like hard course after the week off.
Right, and it's definitely, I can assure you, again, I haven't played it, but my co-host Cindy Miller, who plays on the Champions Tour, the Legends Tour, pardon me, which is the Senior Women's Tour, has played it a number of times, and can rest assured she would tell you that it's a challenging course, but it's an interesting course, so you're going to enjoy it for sure. And again, having those 2 wins, the 4 wins and the Prasco, is obviously going to give you lots of confidence coming in here. So what will be your mindset going into this event? What are you saying to yourself this week to prepare for this golf course?
I'm just going to do the same as always, just enjoy to be on the course and then just practice my best before the tournament and then just do my best and see what happens. There is like, if I do my best, the rest I cannot control it. So if I'm happy with what I'm doing, that's it. I can't control anything else.
Right. Exactly. Well said. Now, you just mentioned, obviously, the tour was on a week break last week. You won, actually, Prasco the week before, so it's been a couple of weeks. So what did you do on your week off to rest up? Did you play a little golf? Did you practice at all? Or did you just sort of rest completely and just, kind of do whatever came its way?
So I slept. I slept a lot. I rest. I worked out, and then I played 3 rounds of golf, and I just kind of enjoyed it because I was 8 weeks in a row. So I didn't want to play too much golf because I know there's still a lot of golf course coming in, still a lot of golf. But I just mostly rested and then just practiced a little bit, but not crazy.
Right. Well, and I think that's good. You want to enjoy your time off because, as you said, you guys, you ladies just came off an 8-week stretch of continual play, and it's just tournaments back to back, and obviously you had some success. That's a pretty good percentage there. You won out of 8 events, or last 8 weeks, you've won 2 of the events, so that obviously makes you feel a little bit extra special as well. And I know you want to try, you mentioned earlier too that you want to, certainly your goal was to get 3 events, so that's something you're hoping to capitalize this week, correct?
Well, not even this week, but yeah, of course I want to do it, so after that I will be able to take pretty much whenever I want to take off and everything. Right now I'm just keep playing and then see what happens.
Right. Well, obviously, yeah, you're going to go out there and give it your best shot, and you're on a course that you haven't played before, so there's going to be some challenges. But I think that boost of confidence that you've maintained over the last month is certainly going to give you somewhat of an advantage. So let's talk about. I know we talked about a few things last time you were on, and I won't go over the same ones this time. But one thing I do want to talk about, because you mentioned off air that you're going to get out and warm up a little bit. How do you prioritize your time on the practice range? What do you spend your time on when you're getting ready to start a round? Obviously, you don't spend a lot of time. You just sort of warm up. But when you're getting ready to play your practice round, you've got a little bit more time today. What are you going to work on most in order to prepare for the course?
Well, I'm going to be more focused on the speed for the green, and then just be able at the end of the day, I want to have the speed for the green, so I'm mainly going to work on my putting short game and everything.
Yeah, well said. And you obviously have had opportunities, particularly when you played on the LPGA, to play in a Pro-Am, where you've had amateur partners come in and take advantage of playing with some of you professionals. What are some things that you noticed that they're doing, obviously that you're not doing, because that's why you're where you are and they're where they are? What are some things that you've noticed, Perrine, over the last several years as a touring professional? If you were talking to some of those people now, that you would advise them to do differently to help make their experience a little bit better?
I just want to say the more important is really the short game, the putting, because you mainly have the girls on the tour, they're on the LPGA, they spend at least an hour every week to get the speed right on the green. And if you have the speed right, it's way easier to make some putts. So I'm mainly going to work, I think the main goal for everybody is to get the speed right on the green. If you don't get the speed right, you got no chance. Yeah,
and as you know, Perrine, that's where on the putting surface is where you lose a lot of strokes. I mean, many amateurs, that have played golf for any length of time, a lot of times they can get to the green maybe in 2 or even 3 shots. But when they get on the putting surface, suddenly they're 3 putting or worse. So obviously, if they can tighten that end of their game up, they're probably going to get some more pars and maybe even a few birdies along the way. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm totally agree.
So one other thing that I wanted to ask you about, because you're going to be you said earlier they're going to be practice round today out on the golf course, and again, you haven't played. What are you going to be watching? What are things that you're looking for while you're in your practice round that are going to help you prepare for when you step up and actually get in the tournament? What are things that you're going to do on the practice round, or things that you're going to particularly pay attention to the most?
Well, mostly I'm going to work today on getting all of my lines from the tee box, and then the rest I won't really pay attention. Well, I will take a look at the green and like what is the line, everything. If you miss the green, where you need to miss it and everything. But I'm mainly going to work on my, I want to know tonight the speed of the green, and every time where is my aiming from the tee box.
Yeah, and that's some great advice, because and that really falls into preparation. You know, this is another area I think you would agree with that a lot of amateurs don't do very well, is they don't prepare to play whatever tournament, whether it's a charity event or whether it's their club championship or even just a friendly practice round. They don't prepare very well, and they get out there and they're just sort of willy-nilly hitting it wherever the ball happens to go. So obviously that's something that they can learn from players like yourself, is really how to better prepare when they get out on the golf course. What are some things, some areas that challenge you the most out in the golf course? What are some shots or areas of your green game, that particularly challenge you the most?
Well, I want to say I'm a player to mostly hit in a draw. So when we need to hit a fade, it's kind of hard, but I'll try. I'm still working on that with my coach. So we're still working on that, and that's one of my goals for next year. Because
right.
I just want to be able to hit pretty much every shot. I know it's hard for me to get a fade because it's not like something I've always been playing in a draw, but it's something I really want to have, that kind of shot in my bag.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's a good idea. Let me ask you just another question here about that. A lot of players have a particular shot or even a particular club in their bag, sort of their go-to in moments where they might be faced with some difficult challenges. Do you have a particular shot or a particular club in your bag that you really not necessarily rely on, but gives you extra confidence because you can work the ball really well with that? And if so, what is it?
Yeah, it's the driver. I've been pretty confident with my driving, so I hit it like if I had the choice to hit the driver or the 3-wood, for me it would be driver every day because I have way more confidence in the driver than the 3-wood.
Right, and that's important, because if you're not confident with your driver, then obviously you might have to step down to your 3-wood or even another club to give you that advantage. So when you go out this week, what's going to be essentially your game plan? You're going to have a practice round today and going to get a feel for the course and that. But when you get ready to tee it up a little bit later this week, what's going to be going through your mind? What are you going to be focusing on to get started, to get a good start in the round?
Well, I'm just gonna do what I'm doing always. So just try my best, and then just make sure, because I want to take a look at the course. But if the course, by the way, everybody's talking, the course is pretty hard. So just be patient and just accept it. Like if you had a shot and you end up having a long pitch shot, third shot, or whatever, just accept it, because I think mostly on this course we're gonna need to be patient. The way everybody keeps saying is we're gonna need to be patient because it's pretty hard course.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be challenging, but I think that as I said earlier, you're coming into with a lot of confidence and reassurance in your game. You obviously know that you have the ability to close the deal, if it were, and I think that you'll do very, very well. Well, Perrine, I want to thank you for joining me. I said that I was going to let you go a few minutes early this morning because you want to get out a chance to sort of warm up before you tee it up at 10 o'clock. So, again, congratulations on both your wins in June, and particularly the last win, the Prasco Charity Championship. And good luck this week at the Donald Ross Classic in French Lick, Indiana, at the Donald Ross Resort, the French Lick Resort. good luck this week.
Thank you.
If you win, if you win, you'll be back on the show in a couple of weeks as the winner again. So good luck and have a great time.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was my special guest this morning, Perrine Delacour from France, winning 2 times this year on the Symetra Tour. First, as I mentioned, being the Four Winds Invitational early part of June, and then just towards the end of the month, barely a month apart, she won her second professional win at the Prasco Charity Championship, and looking to possibly make it number 3 this week at the French Lick Resort in French Lick, Indiana, July 11th to the 3rd at the Donald Ross Classic, and playing the Donald Ross course, which she mentioned a number of times is going to be a difficult challenge for the ladies this week. It's quite hilly, as Cindy has attested to over the years, and here on the show, and as some of the guests that we've had from the French Lick Resort can concur that it's going to be some challenges. So the young ladies have got a battle on their hands, but I know that they're going to come through, and obviously ultimately there's going to be just one winner, but good luck to all the ladies this week on the Symetra Tour. I'm going to talk a little bit here in just a moment about some quick tips to help with your next golf outing here in just a moment. And actually, I asked a few questions here to Perrine just to sort of open up the door, if you will. But before I do that, I want to play a special promotional clip that Cindy has put together here. And for those of you that are business executives that are looking to maybe include golf in your repertoire of skills, here's a great way to do that. So listen to Cindy.
Everyone knows business deals are made on the golf course. Knowing how to act is just as important as how you hit it. As an LPGA professional and corporate trainer, I offer workshops, seminars, and executive retreats to teach you how to do both. From the back nine to the boardroom, improve your team from the inside out, or Golf 101 for executives might be the perfect fit for your team. Maybe it's time to make some deals on the course. For more information, go to cindymillerinc.com.
All right. Again, so for those of you in the business world, whether you're working for a company or you own your own business, golf is a valuable business tool. It's also not only a great game to have some fun at, but a lot of business deals get done on the golf course just because it's a very inviting environment. And Cindy is one of the best in the business that can help sort of mesh that together for you. So definitely reach out to Cindy at any time. Her email is cindymillerinc.com is the best way to reach her, Cindy at cindymillerinc.com. All right, so I want to talk to you a little bit here in the final moments about some quick tips, if you will, to help your next golf outing. So I'm just going to go through a few of them here. And as I mentioned, I talked a little bit in a roundabout way with Perrine here, my guest that was just joining me here. She won the Prasco Charity Championship on the Symetra Tour just a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to get some of her thoughts. So here's some things. If you're getting ready to play an important round for you, maybe it's your club championship, or maybe you're getting ready to play into some sort of a charity event or just any event really. Some things that you might want to consider doing. And first and foremost, you want to get familiar with the golf course. So if you're not going to get a chance to play the golf course before the event, maybe it's not your club championship, you've been invited out to a corporate event of some kind, and you want to get familiar with the course, but you're not actually going to be there maybe for a few weeks, and it's not in close proximity where you are. How can you do that? Well, most golf courses nowadays have an online presence, so you can go visit their website, and many of the courses, if not all of them now, will actually allow you to examine the golf course. Some of them have some very good aerial footage, photos and things like that, so you can get a look at what the course looks like hole by hole. Or you can open up, most of them you can open up their scorecard, and they'll have something similar online where you can actually view an animated version, if you will, of each hole. So you can kind of get an idea, a lay of the land, if you will, and that's kind of what Perrine talked about. That's what she's going to do during the practice round, is sort of line up where she wants to hit her tee shots and get an idea of what the greens are going to look like in that. And obviously, you're not going to be able to test the speed of those greens and things like that until you actually get out to the golf course. But preparation is something that is incredibly important to play your best golf. And I think if you go online to whatever course that you're going to be playing at, and even if it's your home course, sometimes you can get on and go through hole by hole and just kind of take a look and say, okay, there's trees, there's bunkers here, maybe there's a lateral water hazard, what have you, and just examining each hole and kind of come up with a game plan. And that goes into really sort of planning ahead a strategy. So you want to look and say, okay, I know that there's trouble over on this side of the hole, so I want to guard against that, and I want to play, let's say on your first hole, maybe you've got a fairway bunker, or you've got some water on the right-hand side of the hole, and it's going to affect where you tee the ball. So you want to play maybe to the left side of the fairway a little bit, and ensure that you're not going to fall into water or get into a bunker. That's maybe going to give you some trouble as well. So planning a good strategy is something as well, in addition to getting familiar with the golf course. Now, obviously, if you're somebody that's playing your club championship and you play your golf course fairly well, you may already be familiar with that. But it's still a good idea to plan a strategy when you're getting out for any special event that might be happening at the course, just to get an idea. Even if you're playing in a best ball format where you've got partners that can help out, it's still good to have a strategy. Think about this, for example. Maybe like Perrine, you're a very good striker of the ball with your driver. So you might want to be somebody that hits a lot of the tee shots in a best ball format or scramble format. Obviously, you can use a lot of your drives. Maybe in your group, you're the best driver of the ball. So that's something that's going to play to your advantage. So those are things that you want to think about ahead of time. The other thing that you might want to do as well is to tune up with your local golf professional. Again, if you belong or are a member of a club, obviously you want to contact your pro, and maybe you're already in taking some lessons, weekly lessons or bi-weekly lessons, what have you. But maybe if you haven't done that, let's get a tune-up. Let's take a look and assess your game, where it's at. Obviously, you don't want to make any major swing changes at this point, because you don't want to get in there and do a major overhaul right before you're about to play a tournament, because it's going to be disastrous. But there might be some little tweaks here and there that can only amplify the good game that you've already got, or maybe some things that you're not noticing that you're doing that are, again, very, very subtle. Maybe it's as much as alignment. Maybe your alignment's been a little bit off, and that's why the putts are kind of not going into the hole as frequently as you'd like. Or maybe, when you're teeing up off the tee, or even your approach shots to the green, again, maybe your alignment's off a little bit, and that's why you're missing more greens, or you're not getting the ball into the fairway and you're hitting it into the woods or what have you. And it may not necessarily be that the shots that you're hitting are bad, but your alignment might be off. So these are things that your coach or your teacher professional can, with his or her extra set of eyes, can help you really look at. The other thing as well, and this is something that a lot of people miss the boat on, and again, I'm going to use my earlier guest, Perrine, as an example. She's playing in a practice round. She's, in fact, teeing off here in just about 30 minutes. And she wants to make sure that she's at the course early enough to get in some practice time. Now, she's not going to get into a full-blown practice session like she would with her golf coach or a professional, but she's going to warm up. Some things that she talked about is she's going to spend a good amount of that time on the green, on the practice green, gauging the speed of the greens. That's a great way to do it. Get out and hit some putts. Don't just hit, 3-foot putts to see if you're going to make it or not. Hit some lag putts, 10, 20, 30 feet away, and just to get an idea, gauge the speed of the greens, how fast they are, how much break you can expect in some of these greens. Are they running slow? That sort of thing. So there's a lot of different things that you can do by arriving at the golf course a little bit earlier to get in some practice time before you actually play in your event. The other thing as well is you want to have a good warm-up routine. Don't just grab your clubs and lace up your golf shoes, and get out there and start hitting balls. You want to warm up a little bit. Your muscles aren't as warm as you think they are. You want to get out and do some stretches first when you first get out of the car. Stretch a little bit. If you're on a golf cart and maybe you're getting ready to play a practice round yourself or just to play a round, get out there, and there's a lot of great stretches that you can do. And again, your golf professional can maybe show you some very, very effective stretching and warm-up routine, if you will, just to get prepared for your round. And other parts of the warm-up routine as well, as I mentioned, is what you do in your practice session. Again, don't just rake and hit balls like a lot of people do. One of the things that we see quite often is people will just dump out a bucket of balls and they'll just start hitting them out in the range, and they're not really practicing with any sort of purpose. So you want to make sure that you're picking targets. Think about the golf course. Again, if you've played it before, visualize some of the holes that you might be playing. So, for instance, if you're on the first tee, go on a part of the range that can help mimic some of the holes. Most good golf courses have multiple targets out there. So just imagine, create an imaginary fairway out there and say, okay, here, I need to position my ball on the left-hand side. So you want to, again, aim on that left side of that imaginary fairway that you've now created out in the practice tee, and practice hitting a few shots to that target. Then maybe what you might want to do is imagine that you're now in the fairway and you've got a second shot or approach shot to a green. So, pick one of the greens or the targets that are out there and imagine that's the green that you're aiming for, and figure out, okay, how do I want to approach this? Is the pin going to be, in the back? Is it in the front? So you might want to try a variety of different shots there. You might want to hit one where the ball just lands right in the center because the pin's cut maybe further in the back. If the pin's cut a little bit close and the green is fairly open and there's no trouble in front, you might want to hit it a little bit short of the green and let it bounce on if the pin's up close to the front. So there's a lot of different things, that you can practice on in your warm-up routines and in your practice sessions that can really help when you get out to those events. So you want to take advantage of that, and don't just, come racing up into the parking lot, 10 minutes before you're about ready to tee off for your round, and then, get 2 or 3 golf balls out on the practice tee and hit them and think, well, okay, and maybe, practice 1 or 2 putts, and then get out there and wonder why your round doesn't do well. And even again, if you're playing in a scramble format or a best ball format, and you've got partners to rely on, they're relying on you too, and they expect you to bring your best to that event. So, and you're going to have more fun, I think, if you do that as well. The other thing is that you want to consider, we already mentioned about the speed of the greens. That's obviously something that you want to pay particular attention to, but know your limitations. You know what your limits are. You've been practicing. You've been playing for maybe a number of years, and you know what you can and cannot do. Don't try to pull off the hero shot because you saw somebody on TV, one of the pros on TV, hit this miraculous flop shot that, went, 30, 40 feet in the air and, trickled softly onto the green and rolled up and nestled up beside the pin. If that's not in your wheelhouse, if that's not a shot that you're confident you can hit every time or majority of the time, that's not a shot that you want to do. So understanding and knowing your limitations, again, is going to make it a much more pleasurable experience. And that also falls into the next topic, and that is playing to your strengths. So knowing what your strengths are, again, as I mentioned earlier, maybe you're a good striker of the ball off the tee. Maybe your driver, much like Perrine, our earlier guest, relies quite a bit on her driver to set herself up for each hole. So if that's you, then that's a strength to you. If you're not such a good putter, well, that's something that you might want to work on in your warm-up routine, in your practice session. But if that's not your strength, then you want to focus on your strength. And again, if you're playing in a format that you're able to rely on partners to help out, you might want to suggest when you guys get there, if you've never played together before, that somebody who in the group whose putting is a strong part of their game that's the person that you guys are going to rely a little bit more heavily on, just as they're going to rely on you on your part of the game. So understanding and knowing and playing to your strengths are going to make it a much more enjoyable experience out on the golf course. Something else, too, that I think that you want to do is you want to keep stats for future reference. So whenever possible, even when you're playing on that imaginary practice round on the driving range, you can kind of keep stats. So, for instance, again, going back to some of the scenarios I gave, if you've created an imaginary fairway and you're trying to position the ball in certain areas, hit 5 to 10 shots for each scenario, and then gauge how many of them landed in that target area that you picked. So if you're looking at the left-hand side of the fairway and you've hit 10 decent drives, but only 5 of them landed in that area, then mark that 5 down so that you know that 50% of the time you're able to get the ball into the position that you want. So you can do one of two things. You can either try something different to increase that percentage. In other words, maybe if the driver you're pretty good at, but you're still only hitting 50% is not bad. I'm not trying to say it isn't, but if you want to increase that percentage, maybe you might want to try teeing off with your 3-wood. Maybe that is going to be a little bit more of an accurate club for you, or maybe even a hybrid club. And if you can now get it up to 60 or 70% of the time, that's going to be a big advantage in your round. So again, keeping those stats are vital. Same thing on the putting surface. If you get on the putting surface and you're maybe hitting 20-foot lag putts, and you're trying to get them into the hole, but you might want to create a 2 or 3 foot circle around the hole as your overall target, if you will. Obviously, again, you're aiming for the hole, but if the ball lands, rolls into that 2 or 3 foot circle, then you can mark that down. Okay, I'm getting it within that 3 foot putt or 2 foot putt range 40, 50, 60% of the time. Keep track of those stats. Same thing with some of your other stats as well. Chipping and pitching. If you're pitching on the practice tee, if you're pitching to a short green that's out in the range, how many times are you landing out of, say, 10 or 12 shots? How many times are you landing on that practice green? Mark that down as well. And knowing those statistics can make a big difference when you're playing those rounds. So keeping your stats for future reference is always good, and it's great too for the next time that you're meeting with your teach professional or golf coach to have some of that statistical information together that you guys can review it and talk about it and say, okay, here's some areas that we need to improve on, and that also allows him or her to be able to gauge and put together an effective plan for you, a plan of attack, if you will, on how to handle certain areas of your golf game. Obviously, if you've got a very high percentage of greens in regulation, in other words, approach shots to the green, that may be not an area that you need to spend a lot of your practice time or your teaching time with. Whereas maybe if your driver's letting you down or your putter's letting you down, those are areas that he or she can work with you a little bit more diligently throughout the season. So again, keeping those stats for future reference. And the last two are really, I think, crucial as well. Obviously, we want to play well when we're out there. We want to be able to bring our best game regardless of what event we might be playing in, whether it's for fun or a club championship. But you want to feel relaxed and reduce stress. And some great ways to do that is obviously exercise. Again, we're not getting into powerlifting here. Maybe you might try some yoga. A lot of people use yoga as a great way to de-stress and relax. It's also good for stretching and for toning up, a lot of the core muscles that you're going to be using in golf. Also some deep breathing exercise as well, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, sometimes before a round, just relaxing and getting a calmness, because stress and anxiety can really affect your game out there. It tenses up a lot of the muscles, and you get out there and, if you're not relaxed and you're stressed or nervous about the round because you don't feel that you've got your best game there, that's going to creep into the event as well. And see, you're there primarily, and the last one I'm going to talk about, of course, is having fun. You're there to have fun. That's the whole point. The world is not going to end if you play poorly. But if you play poorly because not your game itself or because you didn't prepare or practice, but just sometimes that's the way the winds blow, as it were, sometimes it's going to happen. Sometimes you're not going to be able to play your best. But if it's because you're not relaxing and you're not reducing the stress or anxiety that you're bringing to the golf course because you haven't prepared properly, that is going to affect future rounds as well, because that's going to combat and continue. So you want to find ways, and these are things that you can work with a coach, not necessarily your swing coach, but maybe you might want to go to the gym or to another training facility that offers, again, yoga or things like that offer some of these ways to not only work out, but to create different techniques in that will help you through some of these anxieties and things like that. And also your mental state. Again, you may not be the best player in the world. That's just a cold, hard reality. But if you do some of the things that I talk about here this morning, getting familiar with the course, planning a strategy, tuning up with your local professional a few weeks outside of the event, arrive early and get some practice in, create an effective warm-up routine, test the speed of the greens when you're out there, understanding and knowing your limitations, playing to your strengths, not your playing partner's strengths, keeping stats for future reference, and learning to relax and reduce stress through various types of exercising, and obviously having fun. If you do a lot of these things, then the last one, having fun, is just going to come naturally. Don't worry about your other players. Obviously, if you're playing in a group, you want to encourage and you want to uplift everyone and help them overcome some of their anxieties and stress. But you're there to have fun. You're there to obviously compete a little bit, depending on the event, but you're also there primarily to have fun. And if you do that, it's going to be a much more enjoyable experience. You're going to want to continue and create new experiences and memories, if you will. So doing some of those quick tips, if you will, they don't take a lot of time, take a little bit of thought and a little bit of preparation. But if you do that, I can guarantee you that you'll have a much more enjoyable and pleasurable outing. And again, working with a great professional and other professionals in the game, they will be able to help with some of these areas particularly. And they can put together some great warm-up routines that you can use that will help complement your game, and they can also help you know what to do in pressure situations as well. Obviously, there are a variety of different situations that may come your way throughout a round, but knowing how to handle it and how to recover from a bad shot, let's say as an example, can make a world of difference. Just remember, the only good shot is the one you're getting ready to hit now. What's happened in the past is the past. You can't change that. You can only change your mindset going into the future. So if you've had a bad shot, let it go. Focus on the shot that's currently at hand and decide and make a decision on what you need to do given that circumstance, whether it's a recovery shot or whether you're going for it. That's what you focus on. Don't focus on what's already happened because you can't change it anyways. All right, I want to thank everybody for joining me this morning. Again, just a quick reminder, we will not be doing a show next week. I'm going to be away on holiday, but we will be back the following week, and we will have the winner, hopefully, of the Donald Ross Classic that's currently getting ready to play at the French Lick Resort in French Lick, Indiana this week. So good luck to all the ladies. And again, I want to say a special thank you to my guest this morning, Perrine Delacour, winner of the Symmetric Tourist Prasco Charity Championship a couple of weeks ago. And good luck, Perrine, this week at the event, and good luck to all of the ladies. And I look forward to seeing you guys the next time here on the Women of Golf Show. God bless everybody, and have a great week.
Thanks for listening this morning to the Women of Golf Show. Tune in live each week by visiting blogtalkradio.com/Women of Golf or on any of these social media platforms: iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, CastBox, TalkStream Live, and of course Spotify. If you can't join us live, check out our on-demand section for previously aired broadcasts. To get updates for future shows and upcoming guests, you can follow us on Facebook at Women of Golf. You can also follow me on Twitter at Ted and Buck CEO and Cindy at Cindy Miller Golf. Please remember to join us next week on the Women of Golf Show. See you next time. This has been a production of the iGolf Sports Network.